Hello and welcome to the All Things Leeds Podcast, or for short, the ATL Podcast. It is episode 3, and if you haven't heard my voice already, I am Ed, and as ever, I am joined by Charles Foster. How are you, Charles?
I'm fine, thanks, Ed.
Yeah, a good week?
Very good week. Enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, 4 wins in a row now for Leeds. It's excellent, isn't it?
Great form.
It makes it so much better. Life's so much better when Leeds are winning.
It really does.
Well, of course, in this podcast, we will be going over Leeds United's 2-1 victory over Queen's Park Rangers at the weekend to make it 4 wins in a row, as I said. We'll also be giving our thoughts on Ian Abraham's comments after he said that Leeds and Norwich, it would be bad for the Premier League if they go up because he wants more English managers in the Premier League. Interesting comments there. We'll also be previewing Leeds United's game this weekend as the Whites travel to the University of Bolton Stadium. Leeds Trinity University is better, by the way. But Leeds, they of course take on Bolton Wanderers this weekend, and all that is coming up. So, Leeds United won 2-1 on Saturday at Elland Road against Queen's Park Rangers. 4 wins in a row. We're in terrific form at the moment, aren't we?
We need to be in this kind of form if we're going to kind of keep pace with Norwich, who keep getting these annoying last-minute winners. But, yeah, great form. 4 wins on the bounce. It's superb. You can't ask for better form than that. And only 1 goal conceded in that time as well, which is just brilliant.
And, I mean, it's more than I would have taken from, you look at the past 4 games. You look at the Sheffield United game and we won that. I would have taken a draw in that, but we're in fantastic form. And I always say it as well, especially in my videos. All Things Leeds on YouTube if you haven't subscribed already. But yeah, I always say it. Momentum is key in this division, and it really is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you see how Norwich, I think, have won 12 of their last 15, and they've in that time, I think they've lost once and only drawn a couple of times. If you're picking up win after win in a row, confidence for the senior players, it's confidence for the players on the bench who know they're going to come in and contribute. It's confidence for the fans, and it's confidence for the manager and his tactics. Success breeds success in football. If you continue to win games, you're always going into the next game thinking we're going to give this a good go and we're going to win it.
And confidence as well is big as well for footballers especially. But confidence is a big thing for them, and we certainly have that at the moment. We
do. Admittedly, not. I won't say in every player have got confidence, but yeah, the majority of the team have got confidence, and it just means that they're willing to try more creative and outlandish stuff, which might lead to some better goals.
Yeah, and as you said as well, when you're winning games, you take it into the next game and you're thinking we can win this as well. And it's a great response as well from, if you look at before the international break, we lost 4-1 away at West Brom, and I was saying it's a damaging defeat, it's a heavy defeat, and it's going to be key, for a response, and it'll be interesting to have a look. But it's been an incredible response. Yeah,
I actually don't think that game was as bad as the 4-1 scoreline would suggest. I think we conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes, which kind of properly killed us off. But we deserved to lose that game. We were very poor, and they punished us. But yeah, you can't ask for more than the players have given us in response. You really can't.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it already this season. When we lost against Birmingham, went out and won the next game. We've seen it already, and but this, losing 4-1 away at West Brom, damaging, and then we go out and win our next 4 games. That's incredible. But it's like, Bielsa, he has done a fantastic job, not only, with improving players, but also with the mentality as well, I feel, because, we saw it last season, the Millwall loss pretty much killed us off. I mean, Liam Cooper said it as well, and it's a change in mentality for the players more than anything as well.
Yeah, we were spineless last season, in the nicest possible way. We were a bit spineless.
Yeah.
As nice as that can be. The mentality of the team very strong. If Bielsa doesn't let them get down after defeat and doesn't let them get too arrogant after a victory, we're in this for the long haul. We're here to win it. We're not here to get cocky or to get depressed at every result.
I mean, we have a good team now as well this season, mate. It's pretty much the same team as last season, but the improvement is so big, and Bielsa's just had such a big impact.
I think a lot of the failures last season were the lack of marginal gains. Like we never had a proper left back. We relied really heavily on Pablo Hernandez to create magic for us while playing 2 defensive midfielders at home every week. And we've got a lot more options. We've got a lot more options going forward. now, and I think we're just we're a better team, we're a more balanced team, and we're able to create more chances and score more goals.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's so incredible bouncing back from that defeat, winning our next 4 games. Such a change from last season. And Bielsa said it as well in his press conference after the QPR win. That it's good teams that win 4 games in a row. It's not bad teams that do it. It's good teams, and we are much more improved.
Yeah, we are. The positive thing is, I don't even think we've played at our best in these 4 games that we've won. We've been good. We haven't hit the potential the team's got, I think. But yeah, bad teams don't win 4 games in a row in the Championship. You just don't. If you're putting good runs of form together, you are a good team. There's very few teams in this league that I think are genuinely very poor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we're similar to them, but you look at Arsenal in the Premier League. They've gone on this mad run. They've been unbeaten in 16 games, and it's not bad teams that go on them unbeaten runs. It's good teams, and they're much more improved from last season, and so are we. It's just incredible to be watching Leeds United, really. But let's now properly digest Leeds' 2-1 victory against QPR at the weekend. Let's start with the lineup, though. Bielsa, of course, went with a 4-1-4-1 formation, which I was expecting personally, as QPR usually play one up front. Don't know about you, Charles, but were you expecting that formation?
Yeah, I thought they'd play with that because they either play Smith up front, don't they, or they play Naki Wells. But I prefer the 4-1-4-1 formation in general. But I was expecting it. Same,
I prefer the 4-1-4-1 formation as well. I feel as though that's our better formation that we can go with.
Yeah, I think we get stretched too easily in the 3-1-3-3.
Yeah, definitely. 4-1-4-1 is the way to go. And, it's what we used at the start of the season. Went so well, so why not stick with it? But of course, the big question going into the game was who was going to play defence, as Liam Cooper. He went off injured during our 1-0 win away at Sheffield United, of course. And then Bielsa, who revealed that Stuart Dallas is now going to be out for around 8 weeks, and that's the same with Liam Cooper. We went over this last week's episode, but that was before we knew that Dallas was injured. So all these injuries, especially in defence, it's not good, is it?
No, it's damaging, and it may cost us. I mean, it hasn't so far, but it may cost us. I mean, it's testament to Bielsa as a manager that he shrugs his shoulders and says, right, well, let's just go win the next game with the kids then, which is brilliant from him. I mean, he doesn't let it get him down. But yeah, these injuries have been costing, making selections a lot easier at the back. But you'd prefer to have all your players fit.
Do you think there's a problem with the training regime or something, or probably he's testing the players too much in training, and that's why they're picking up all these injuries? Or do you just think it's really bad luck this season?
I think it's a bit of both. I think some of the injuries are caused by the training methods. I think like Douglas with his hamstring strain. I think Cooper with his because he did a bit of damage to his knee the week before, but I think he twisted his knee as well. So you can put that down to training a little bit for stretching him too far. But yeah, the impact injuries of Ayling and Patrick Bamford and Stuart Dallas, I think he broke his foot in a tackle on the in the Sheffield United game. You can't blame that on training methods. It's just horrendous luck, and especially with it's always been defenders. You'd expect it to be attacking players because they're getting challenged way more often. Yeah, but it's just luck of the draw, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, when they pick it up during games, it's just it's not our fault. It's the fault of the opponents for injuring the players. But it's what I was looking at the start of the season, you're putting them through 3 training sessions in a row, but you can't really do that. We've got such a small squad, and you can't test them so much when you've got 46 games in the season.
Yeah, I think Bielsa's methods would, in every sense of them, work better in the Premier League because there's fewer games, and you've got more ability to buy more players, and his tactics would allow his players. Well, you get more time on the ball in the Premier League anyway, so I think he would suit the Premier League perfectly. But these injuries are costing us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to make a video on it, but I feel as though with all these 4 wins in a row, it's probably best not to make this video. But I'll ask you anyway. So league table and form aside, do you think that having a small squad is hurting us this season? Do you think we're riding our luck a bit with with all these injuries that we've been having?
Yes, I think we are riding our luck a little bit. I think we. Because we haven't played ever since we've lost a few defensive players. I think Cooper's going to be a big miss. Personally, I think we're going to miss him over the next month or so. But especially because he's been on better form than Janssen this season. But yeah, I think we are riding our luck a little bit. But you can also say that luck has nothing to do with it, and it's simply the fact that Bielsa makes sure that every player even the youth players in the under 23s all know his tactics and all going to come in at a moment's notice.
Yeah, and I mean credit to the youngsters as well, because they're stepping in. You know, Apa Harmy came on for Liam Cooper when he went off in the Sheffield United game, thrown in at the deep end there, and he did quite well. You know, it's credit to these youngsters, isn't it, for coming in and stepping up and performing well in what is such big games for them.
Yeah, it's very difficult circumstances. I think you got to give a special shout out to Apa Harm in the Sheffield United game, because that is not a nice game. The opposition fans are not there to ease you in, and the Sheffield United have got a good team, and he pocketed Billy Sharp for 70 minutes basically. Beyond that chance in the first half, I thought Sharp was incredibly quiet. Shackleton as well has been performing very well in games.
Yeah,
and
we'll get on Shackleton in a moment. But I mean, like I was saying, credit to the youngsters. And I mean, you look at the Bristol City game. People are thinking, it's against Bristol City, we'll win that one. But I said it, around that time, it's like that's a must-win game, because not only do we want to win and stay up there near the top, but it's also our response from that 4-1 defeat, and Will Huffer went in, Hound went in, and they both did well. Credit to the youngsters where it's due. Yeah,
definitely credit. They've performed when we've needed them to, and they've stepped up admirably, really.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate that's had to be necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with all these youngsters coming in. I'm more than comfortable, but I prefer having a fully fit squad. But it's interesting though, because we are second in the league, but we haven't had a fully fit squad all season.
I honestly think it's down to the manager's tactics and ability and belief in his players that we've managed to do that. I mean, with our injury list, we shouldn't be anywhere near top two.
Yeah.
We really should. We should be down in 7th, 8th and 9th with the amount of injuries we've had, but we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just does come to how, Bielsa is really that good. Anyway, getting onto the lineup, so Stuart Dowell's been unavailable. Jamie Shackleton came in at right back, and he played pretty well, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I think he's more of an attacking midfielder, really. But so I don't think he's kind of
he's playing out of position.
But having said that, I don't think his bursting runs aren't really out of character for the type of player he is. But yeah, he did plenty defensively. I don't think he was troubled by Luke Freeman, who's arguably one of the most underrated creative players in the Championship on his day. Luke Freeman is a really good player, and I thought Shackleton dealt with him really well. Burst down his side quite a few times, links up with Click and Saiz and Hernandez very well. I thought he had a cracking game. Yeah,
I thought Shackleton played brilliant. He was always looking to bomb forward, and for such a little guy as well. I mean, I think he's smaller than Samuel Saiz, and defensive wise, he was really good as well.
Yeah, you do worry about having short defenders, because a lot of
especially in this league as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of punting long balls, as we found out.
Middlesbrough probably one of the best at punting long balls forward to tall players.
Oh God, let's just not talk about Middlesbrough and their team of giants. But yeah, they kind of think when you look at Shackleton, he's going to struggle at long balls and high balls, but he didn't really. He was superb when it came to defending on the ground, and whenever he struggled in the air, Janssen or Phillips helped him out, and Clean kind of swept up after him. So yeah, I don't think there was any problem with him in there.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with him this game, but I was also impressed at the start of the season. When he played against Swansea, I thought he had good games there. Shackleton really is a player, and it's another example of how good our youth is at the moment. With the players stepping up.
Yeah, but Shackleton's been one to watch for a while now. I think Neil Redfern pointed out that he'd be a senior player one day. A few years ago, so you can see that his potential had been spotted quite early, and he's certainly looking like he might end up being a regular player like Calvin Phillips.
Regular right back as well. Do you think? I mean, as we said, he's playing out of position. So are you confident with him playing right back?
I'm confident for him to step in while Luke Ayland's not fit. I'd prefer him. I'd actually love to see him in that Matthias Click role. I'd love to see him in that role.
Yeah, imagine that going from a defender to an attacking midfielder.
Well, I think his main position is centre mid anyway, and I think he'd be with the kind of skill on the ball he's got, and he had 94% passing accuracy in the QPR game, so he's clearly got some great passing ability.
Yeah,
I think he'd link the play very well. I'd like to see him in that role at some point. Obviously, we're unlike with defenders, we are inundated with huge amounts of centre mids at the club. Got loads of them, and we have for the last few seasons had loads of centre mids. Probably too many, really. We needed more defenders and forwards, but Yeah, I'd like to see him in that role at some point.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I feel as though you can experiment with youngsters. You know, they haven't got a position, marked down really in first team professional football. So yeah, you can experiment with them, and anywhere that you put them, they'll give it a good crack because they want to, show that they are good enough to be in that first team.
Well, yeah, if you look at Sam Byron, we used to play him out on the wing, and then he ended up kind of solidifying his career. He's now you would never put him in any other position than a right back, but
yeah.
we played him at right back occasionally. We thought he was too attacking to be a right back, and we put him at right wing. But so yeah, young players, you can afford to ask him to play in different positions. And Bielsa loves telling players to play in different positions. He made Dallas into a centre mid, made Phillips into a centre back. He loves experimenting and coming up with new ideas.
But it's like what you have to do though when you've got such a small squad. If you don't have other place to play there, you're relying on another place to play out of position.
Yeah, I saw a tweet actually yesterday that said that maybe Bielsa's experience as an international manager means he's because you can't obviously sign players as an international manager. You've got to deal with what you've got. That Bielsa kind of carries that philosophy into everything he does, as in deal with what you've got, make the best of what you've got, and adapt players to positions you need them to play in.
Mm-hmm. Of course, though, we've got Louis Coyle on loan at Fleetwood, and he's doing quite well, and we've seen him at Leeds, and he's played well for Leeds. I remember the Derby County game, that 1-0, but we dominated him, and Louis Coyle played really well. Would you recall Louis Coyle, or bring him back in January?
I wouldn't recall him. I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't extend his loan. I'd have him at the club.
Yeah.
So he'd be back in January. Yeah, he has got a lot of praise from Joey Barton. What that praise is worth coming from Joey Barton, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
But Barton played in the Premier League for a few years, and he seems like he's an extremely steady player at right back in that Fleetwood side. And the Fleetwood seem to be up there, don't they? They seem to be near the playoffs or in the playoffs. I haven't checked the league table.
They definitely have been in recent seasons, but Louis Coyle, I think he comes back in January. I feel as though if he don't get in the team in January, with all these injuries, Louis Coyle, he's not going to be out. He's not going to be back at the start of January, you don't think? So if Louis Coyle, when he comes back, doesn't get in the team, you'd think that it's probably never going to happen at Leeds for him, is it?
No, he'd probably put in a transfer request, but you got also the point that he's not trained in Bielsa's style of play either. He's trained in Joey Barton's style of play, so you'd have to retrain him very quickly. Do his own kind of mini pre-season, get him up to date with how the squad play. And why would you bother doing that and risking him in right back when you've got Jamie Shackleton both playing well and understanding how Bielsa wants him to play?
Yeah, I mean, Louis Coyle, I'm a big fan of him. I'd love him to, stay at Leeds. I think that we do need him there just in case, someone else gets injured during the second course of the season and we don't have someone to play there. A lot more confident with Louis Coyle being there. But we'll go on to the centre-back. So Liam Cooper being injured, Phillips and Jansen were the centre-backs. And, they're both decent, but Phillips, he's just awesome, isn't he, playing centre-back?
He is, but he didn't have his best of games against QPR.
No.
Obviously, I think he struggled a bit with high balls, bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Miscommunication with Bailey Peacock-Farrell when they almost ran into each other on the edge of the box. That was a bit strange.
Yeah.
But what when it comes to sweeping the ball or picking the right pass, there really isn't anyone, any defensive player, arguably in the league, better than Calvin Phillips for picking the right pass. Yeah.
Do you think we're missing him in that midfield role? Because that's where I feel as though that's where he's best at, to pick out them long balls. Do you think we're missing him in midfield?
I think we are missing him. Yeah, we are, because those raking 50-yard passes that we saw a few weeks ago when he was picking out Hernandez and Saiz and Alioski when he was on the pitch of Jack Clark, and he's starting attacks. I remember against Preston when he launched over the top for Tyler Roberts, who ran on and finished it. He's a cracking player in midfield, and I think we lose something. We lose a bit of fight or a little bit of bulk in that midfield when we don't have a minute. I don't mind Adam Forshaw. I think he actually had a really good performance, I thought, against QPR. He did a lot of ball recoveries. I think 9 ball recoveries during the game, which is very good. Especially in the second half, he was good. But for picking that pass, I don't think Forshaw's got the ironically got the attacking brain for it. I think he always seems to try and play the safe one, and we can't always play safe if we're going to win games.
No. I mean, still though, credit to Phillips for stepping in centre back into a back four and doing okay. Upper Helm though, a bit harsh on him. Do you feel? You would have thought he would have started in centre back because he is the centre back that was only available. So would you say it was a bit harsh on him that he didn't start?
Harsh, but understandable. I think
you want to go with experience.
Bielsa wants experience. He likes experienced players, and he doesn't like to put too much pressure on youth, as we've discussed in last week and week before. Having said that, I thought when Helm came on, he to deal with Matt Smith's threat, I thought he did very well.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't concede, so you've got to say it's a job well done. But I mean, played okay against Sheffield United the previous week, got chucked in at the deep end. So I would have felt as though, seen as though he came on in that game, did quite well. You would start him because you've seen that he can handle it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in the Bolton away game. I'd like to see him at centre back. I'd like to see Phillips back in midfield. But if it works, if we're still winning games, I'm happy for Phillips to continue at centre back until Cooper returns.
Yeah, Zaiz, he also started, and everyone who watching my videos will know my thoughts on him. I don't think he's a starter. He looks a bit unfit this season. How about you, Charles? Is he a starter for you?
No, but I would have him come on earlier than Bielsa brings him on, because he often doesn't get on the pitch till 60 minutes. I'd bring him on at half time. Yeah. I really would. For either Alioski or for Forshaw or for Click.
Whoever's having a bad game.
Yeah, whoever's performing the worst, but he might not be the fittest, and I don't think he works the hardest out of the team, but he does come up with moments of magic. When he was surrounded by QPR players on the edge of their box, and Roof was stood unmarked about 10 yards from goal, and he picked him out and he was onside, and then it was a poor finish from Roof actually, but it was a good chance created, and the intensity in the first 10 minutes of the first half and the first 15 minutes of the second half, I think were down to him a lot. Starting attacking moves. Having said that,
I didn't feel as though he had the best of games.
He didn't have a great game. He was a little bit of a passenger, and you can't afford to have passengers in a promotion contending team. Definitely
not. I mean, for me, I don't think he's a star. He's not with it, with the rest of the players, I don't think. Alioski, he's still started as well. I mean, how many bad games does Alioski need to have before he's not starting?
QPR wasn't his worst game. I thought he was better against QPR. Yeah,
better against QPR, but I mean, for previous weeks, you'd say drop him.
Yeah, you go back to the whole experience argument, the Grafton, and I think Alioski actually does the press, the Bielsa press, better than any other player. I don't think anyone can argue that. He does close players down quickly and constantly, more than Roof and Hernandez do, because Hernandez is losing a bit of pace, and Roof doesn't really like to do that much running because he wants to save his energy for goal scoring chances. But Alioski does do a lot the press. The press work, but I think it's time for Jack Clarke to start. I thought this game would have been perfect for him to play in, and I was saying it throughout. Bring Jack Clarke on. Of course, he came on, but he came on late, and he came on for Pablo Hernandez. But I thought that this would have been a perfect game for Jack Clarke. There was that one chance where he got the ball whipped to him, and that QPR defender tried to intercept it, and they both jumped for it in the air, and the QPR defender fell over, and Clarke was essentially about to run into a one-on-one. Because he was breaking on the halfway line. It was that period where we had a lot of pressure, and the referee gave a foul. And I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was a foul. I thought he harried the centre backs as much as he could, because we were under the cosh a bit for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he tried to do as much as he could, but a lot of the work in the last stages of the game was defensive. I thought the defensive players did well to close out most of opportunities, and when they did get opportunities, I thought. Naki Wells was very wasteful, especially that chance where he had on the edge of the 18-yard box where he just blasted it over the bar, and he sent that shot wide, didn't he, as well? But yeah, I thought Clarke was good when he came on.
Just a quick word on the subs bench as well. Of course, Bielsa said in his press conference ahead of the game too. He said that Patrick Bamford and Izzy Brown would both be for selection, but Bamford was the only one to go on the bench and not Izzy Brown. And I was surprised with that, because Bamford Izzy Brown rather had been playing more minutes in the under-23, so I was a bit surprised seeing that.
Yeah, but I think in Bielsa's mind, Izzy Brown hasn't played senior football in 13 months. Bamford was playing senior football 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
Brown's injuries was far worse than Bamford's, and I think although Brown has technically recovered quicker, Yeah, you'd like to have your star signing on your bench, wouldn't you, to bring on if need be?
Yeah.
But we didn't end up needing him because
he didn't come on. But I guess as well, I've seen that clip of Bamford in training when he scored that fantastic goal. So yeah, I thought it was a bit surprised, but I mean, good to see him back though. Anyway, Bale's saying that they're both back for selection. It's good to see him back. Especially throughout this Christmas period.
There's a difference though between scoring a worldie in training and full match fitness.
Yeah.
The ability to run around for 90 minutes. I'm not sure that either Bamford or Brown have got that yet. I'm sure they'll come on subs at some point. But I'm happy to see one of the injured players finally make it back. It seems like there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the game properly now. And with the first half, good start from Leeds United. Created a few chances and could have been 2 or 3-0 up in the first 10 minutes.
Roof was very wasteful, I thought.
Yeah, he had 3 good chances, didn't he, that he missed? There was one where Hernandez crossed from the right and Roof, he got a touch on it, but it went just wide of the post. Alioski crossed from the right and Roof just missed the ball. But then his best chance was when Click's shot was deflected. It dipped down perfectly for Roof, who were 10 yards out. Ended up being a good save, but Roof should have scored.
I've got to disagree with that last one. I don't think it was even as much as 10 yards out, and Roof pretty much hit it straight at the goalkeeper. I mean, you've got to, from me there when you I thought it was about 7 or 8 yards out. You've got to blast it there.
Yeah, I mean you got to score at least one of them as well, and especially that that one where it did perfectly for him. You got to score. Yeah,
he booted the post after he missed that because you could see he was getting frustrated.
Yeah, I mean he missed so many good chances in the early stage, and like I say, he really should have scored.
Yeah, he should have. I think he definitely should have buried that Click chance. The Alioski one, it was a few yards in front of him. He didn't actually make any contact. And the Hernandez one, he kind of slid into it, but he slid it wide of the post. You understand that because the defender was on him, but he was literally free in the box, 8 yards out. You've got to be burying them.
Yeah, of course, Roof, went on to score 2 goals, but we'll get on to that. But QPR, like any other team, they sat back, made it difficult for us. And
I thought they had a good shape, actually. I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, they attacked more than any other team, but they made it frustrating as hell for Leeds United. And the time wasting as well. Now, I've got something to say there. First of all, the referee was awful in the first half. Didn't book one single Queen's Park Rangers player when probably half of their team should have been booked. One for time wasting and one for a few fouls, but didn't book any of them. So the referee were poor in that aspect. But I mean, time wasting. So many teams do it, and it's so annoying to watch.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, it was Peter Banks, the referee as well, the same referee that we had for the Birmingham game, that ended up having to add on 8 minutes added time because they wasted that much time. I mean, you've got to crack down. If you don't crack down on it, then the game suffers. You ended up not playing much football and watching people waste time on purpose and do deliberately kind of gamesmanship tactics to try and get round actually playing football, because QPR can't match us as a football team.
No.
So they resorted to long balls, hitting us on the break, and having 2 lines of 4 in midfield to force us out wide.
Yeah.
Because they know that we don't have big strikers, so that they don't have to fear us whipping balls in the box as much, so they're quite happy to let us go out wide. But yeah, the referee had a bad first half.
Yeah, I mean, with the time wasting aspect, it's so annoying to watch. And I mean, referee, just take control of the game. Take control of the game. If you book one of their players for time wasting, the rest of the team stop time wasting.
The worst, I think, the peak of the worst bit of the time wasting was that defender when he took about 3 seconds slowly swinging his leg into the ball on the edge of the box. Do you remember that?
It was walking slowly towards the ball, and then slowest pass you'll see back to the keeper. And then keeper, when he got the ball, went to the other side of his 8-yard box.
You could see the referee giving him like a million verbal warnings as well, and they weren't listening to him.
Stop giving him warnings. If they're not listening and you're giving him warnings, book them,
yeah.
So they know, and then they stop doing it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the worst team that I've seen time waste is Preston in the cup, when they went 1-0 up after 2 minutes, then time wasted throughout the entire rest of the game. It's so annoying to watch. It's awful football to watch, and the referees need to take control of these games and just give out a booking and they stop it. It's ridiculous for me. But of course, QPR, as ever, they would of course go and take the lead on the 26th minute.
Of course.
Typical. Mistake from the defence though. Narkowelzi beat Phillips to a high ball, and we discussed it earlier as well. Phillips got caught out with quite a few high balls. But yeah, Narkowelzi beat him. Jansen came flying in to try and win the ball, completely missed it, so defensive error there.
Yeah, I thought that was the wrong decision from Jansen. I think he should have stood his ground and guarded Naki Wells until Phillips had got back to cover.
Yeah.
I think if you win that, then you look great. And Janssen does it on a few occasions. He puts himself at huge risk, and he normally wins it. He normally comes out with the ball, or puts it out for a throw in or a corner or whatever. But yeah, this time he either should have gone he should have put his foot through it and possibly taken a high foot free kick, or just jockey Naki Wells until Phillips comes back to cover. Or
yeah, I'm with you on that one. He should have just stood his ground and waited till people got back. But of course, Naki Wells goes 1-on-1 with keeper, slots it past Bailey Peacock-Fowl. A few people saying Peacock-Fowl should have done better.
Not for me.
It's a 1-on-1 and you expect a striker to score. It's a defensive error, is that goal?
It's right in the bottom corner. I don't think you can put much blame on Peacock-Fowl for that one. No. It's not his fault that both his centre-backs got caught out. And he does dive quite far, but it's right in the bottom corner. Naki Wells is a good championship striker.
Yeah, he's a good finisher. But Naki Wells, of course, putting QPR ahead. QPR, when they went 1-0 ahead, they made it a lot more frustrating for us. We were really short on ideas, I felt.
We were trying to force it a lot of the time. So players like Saiz and Anders were giving the ball away a lot. And I actually thought the equalising goal was quite I don't know whether it was a mixture of genius from Pablo Hernandez toe poking it into Roof.
Yeah, it was a perfect pick-up from Hernandez. Don't think it was a shot.
If it was a shot, then it was very lucky. But if it was just a poke through, then it was good. Roof actually looks offside to me. I've seen it back. Roof looks a little bit offside.
Yeah, but nothing given.
Nope.
He taps it in. We score at a perfect time as well, just before half-time. That set us up perfectly, of course, for the second half. And as always, we're much better in the second half.
Yeah, these sloppy starts are starting to get on my nerves now. I imagine they are for a lot of Leeds fans.
It's not like really sloppy starts. We're usually good in the first 10-15 minutes, but then it's a poor rest of the first half.
Yeah, I said sloppy start. It was a sloppy first half in general because our heads dipped. They went down when they scored. We didn't really get back into it for a while. We looked a bit frustrated and worried that we weren't going to get the 3 points. And you can't be worried. You're going to go 1-0 down at some point in some game of the season, and some game you have to win those games. Yeah. You've got to beat QPR at home if you're going to go up. That's just nothing against QPR. It's no disrespect, but they're a mid-table team at best, and you need to beat them.
But yeah, like I said, much better second half. Of course, on 53rd minute, we awarded our penalty. First penalty for 59 games. It's incredible.
It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle, just a little bit early. The penalty was a little bit soft, but
I thought it looked a bit harsh.
But from looking at it, I can understand why the referee's given it.
I understand his arms are in like a weird place, but I mean, I felt it looked a bit harsh. But of course, first penalty, 59 games. That's an incredible stat, by the way. But Roof, of course, stepped up to take it, and a good finish from him as well.
Just before I talk about the finish, there was a little bit of an argument between Roof and Hernandez as to who was going to take the penalty. I noticed it didn't get kind of nasty, but they were like arguing for at least a minute and a half about who was going to take the penalty, and Roof eventually won the argument.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he was probably arguing that he's the striker, he needs the goals, confidence, just higher up in the charts. But and it was a cracking finish right in the corner. It was
sending the keeper the wrong way, right in the corner. It was cracking.
Yeah, from where we were stood, I thought he was going to hit. I thought he was going to hit the post. I was about to be fuming, but yeah, that's why I was a little bit surprised, and it took me like about 5-10 seconds to start celebrating because I thought, oh no, he's missed this. I
mean, I was surprised that Hernandez wasn't taking it because he seems to be our penalty taker. But again, Roof's a striker. He needs the goals, and of course, goals breed confidence in strikers, and that's key.
I don't think we have a designated penalty taker, especially under Bielsa, because there just hasn't been a need for one.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably be decided now. I think Roof will probably take them from now on, but because they're so unexpected, and I'm almost disappointed we didn't get to 60 games. That feels like a milestone we should have hit.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd rather us get as many penalties as possible, but you like to set records. It was a great finish, and even though it was slightly fortunate the referee's given that, I can understand why he's given it, because the defender has his arm in an unnatural position and he appears to turn his arm into the ball to kind of direct it towards the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And Roof reacts immediately, which I think helps the referee make his decision. If Roof doesn't react there, I don't think the referee gives that.
Yeah. But he scores it. Roof's second goal of the game, despite the missed chances at the beginning of the game. His second goal of the game. He's a proper striker now, isn't he?
Yeah, I actually thought he only had about a 7 out of 10 performance, and he's still got 2 goals. So he's 10 for the season, 10 goals for the season, 2 assists.
he's a proper number 9 now, and I always felt that. Last season watching him when he played number 9 in a few cup games, and then he played against Forest as number 9. I always feel as though he's much better as a striker than a winger, personally. And now we're seeing it this season. We are seeing he's so much better as a striker than a winger.
He also loves playing against QPR. That's 6 goals in his last 3 appearances.
Yeah.
He loves playing against QPR.
Yeah, but he's just so much better again, and he's a proper striker now. But of course we're cruising. Ruth has a few more chances that we probably should have scored. We could have scored. We could have scored way more than 2 goals in this game.
Yeah, it could be 5-1 up quite easily.
Yeah, like I said, could have been 3-0 up in the first 10 minutes. But QPR, with 10 minutes to go, they bring on Matt Smith, and we counter it by bringing on Apo Halm. What are your thoughts on this performance, Apo Halm, when he came on?
I thought I understand why Bielsa did it. You initially think when you bring on a centre-back on 80 minutes, that's a bad choice because Christensen did that a lot, and we conceded a stupid amount of late goals. But, there's no more of that indiscipline or inexperience with regards to seeing out Leeds, and despite Halm being a young player, and I thought he was very good in the air, and he really dealt with because when you bring on Matt Smith, we're not a big team to start off with, and we've only got Janssen in there who's 6'5", and if Matt Smith starts targeting Calvin Phillips or especially Jamie Shackleton, then we could be in for a bit of a torrid last 10 minutes. So bringing on Apo Halm to kind of, I think is almost exactly the same height as Matt Smith to challenge him in the air.
Yeah.
And I think Halm actually won the majority of those aerial duels. I think he won about 60-70% of their aerial duels in the last 10 minutes. So it was clear that it was a gamble by Bielsa that paid off. On
the Apo Halm's performance, we didn't concede a goal, obviously, went on to win 2-1. So you've got to say it's job done for him. And we were discussing it earlier as well. Going forward, I'm with you. I'd much rather see Apo Halm as a centre-back and Phillips back in midfield.
Yeah, he's got the experience of Douglas and Janssen in the back line to guide him. He's very good with his feet and he's very good in the air. So he's prone to the occasional mistake, but when you're 20 years old, you can iron them out quite easily. And he's only going to get better through experience. I think when people say, "Oh, I don't want to play youth players, we need experience," the way players get experience is by being young players and getting played. You don't get experience playing in under 23s or sitting on the bench. You just don't.
Yeah. Well, of course, the typical Leeds way, we didn't make it easy for ourselves towards the end. Nervy last few minutes. I remember Bailey Peacock foul. He made a cracking save after Jake Bidwell's effort. It was dipping into the net, and Peacock foul had to tip it over. It was going in, and it was. You initially thought, that's going to be a goal. It wasn't. It was a hopeful effort, really, but it was. I don't think it was a great finish. It was just. A kind of a desperate effort because I think Bidwell's I don't think he's an attacking player, but that was going in and it was a great save. Yeah, and the resulting corner, which QPR took about 5 minutes to take, then went immediately out of play. Do you remember that one? It was just weird. That corner took ages, and they were all crowding Peacock foul in the box. Yeah, and then they took the corner, it went immediately out. And they wasted their own time doing that. It just. Bit strange, but Peacock foul though, a few good saves in this game. I felt as though commanding of his area a few times was a bit poor. I always feel as though that's a weakness of the game. I say it all the time, but Peacock foul still, kept us in it towards the end.
I was going to say goalkeeper's main job is shot stopping, and I've never really had any problem with Peacock foul shot stopping, with the exception of the West Brom game and the Birmingham game. But in all the other games, he's been a good shot stopper. But yeah, he flaps on a couple of crosses again. That needs to be sorted. He needs to have someone kind of instructed him, if you're going to come out, you need to win it. Whether it's catch it or punch it 20 yards, you need to win it. You cannot afford to either miss the ball entirely or flap it onto the edge of the 18-yard box, because somebody will punish you. But other than that, he had a good game.
Yeah, and of course we held on with a 2-1 win, 3 points, another win as well. Second in the table though, after Timu Puki's last-minute winner for Norwich kept them at the top of the table. That was after Bolton had just gone down 10 men. So Sammy Obiobi, Leeds fans' least favourite Bolton player now.
You might say that, but he has helpfully got himself suspended for the next game, which we happen to be playing, and he's their best player. So it swings and roundabouts, really. I'm liking the fact that he's not playing in the game because he's a good player.
Yeah, but Norwich, of course, last-minute winner, as they do. They always seem to be scoring them now, last-minute winners, keeping them at top at the table.
I think I said a certain phrase to you after the game about Leeds having been top of the league for less time than me doing a certain activity, but
yeah, I mean, so we were top at league for about 5 minutes. And we were saying in the crowd as well, we were news coming through, Norwich are drawing 2-2.
We were singing where Leeds United were top of the league, and then they immediately scored a winner.
And then Norwich immediately scored a winner, and we're like,
God's sake.
But still in a good place, though. Second in the league, of course, so 1 point off Norwich, but we're now 5 points clear of third place Derby County. And it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good. I mean, the playoffs has been really strange this year because every single time you think, all right, now this lot are gonna push for the top 2. 3 of them don't win. Middlesbrough drew, Forest lost, Sheffield United won, Derby won, but there always seems to be a couple of the playoff teams always seem to struggle to put together a run of form, which really is helping us out. And I don't want to jinx us, touch wood, but I'd love that to continue because we need as much being Leeds United, we need as much of an advantage as we can get because there's always something going against us.
Yeah, but you got to say though, second in the league, 5 points clear of third. We are genuine promotion contenders this season. We are.
I don't think anyone can doubt that. I mean, even Don Goodman said the other day that the Leeds United, make no mistake, they're the real deal. And if Don Goodman's giving a Leeds team the vote of confidence, then arguably we could win the World Cup because that's the only circumstances in which he would give us praise.
Yeah, but you've got to say we are genuine promotion contenders and title contenders as well, maybe. But we're certainly in a good place right now. We're certainly in a good place. But let's now move on to Ian Abraham's comments. The guy who works for TalkSport. He's also known as Moose.
Yeah,
and
Moose.
Basically, on Monday, he came out with comments saying it'll be bad for English football if Leeds United and Norwich City get promoted, simply because he wants more English managers in the Premier League. And if these two get promoted, Norwich and Leeds get promoted, it's 2 less places for English managers to step into Premier League. What are your thoughts on these ludicrous comments?
Well, my first thought was to burst out laughing, but because it's ridiculous in every sense of the argument. I mean, nothing he says is actually correct. But it's insane. I mean, he goes on to say that the English managers like Chris Wilder and Dean Smith, who are English to be fair, but also Tony Pulis, who's Welsh, and Frank Lampard, that these managers, it'd be better for English football if these managers went up. I would argue that it's not the responsibility of the Championship to make sure the Premier League has English managers. Yeah. It's the responsibility of Premier League clubs that are established to hire English managers.
Yeah.
And if they were good enough, they'd be up there.
Yeah.
The fact that Farke and Bielsa are the top 2 in the league tells you they are the best 2 managers in the league.
Yeah. And I mean, for one, I don't get why it matters that there's English managers in the Premier League. I don't get it. The Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. Surely they want good football there, which English managers currently are providing. So some of them are providing. But for me, I just don't get why it matters that English managers need to be in the Premier League.
I think it matters for English players to be in the Premier League, not English managers. Because,
but of course, there's that rule though that you need a certain amount of British players in your squad.
Yeah, that needs to be. That needs to be made better. They need to make it so that you need more English players in your starting 11, from my opinion, because I think it'll help the national team a lot, and it'll also mean that these players like Phil Foden and Jadon Sancho and Gibbs White at Wolves are all getting more game time, and Loftus-Cheek at Chelsea, they're all getting more game time, and it'll only help the national team.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're under no obligation to play these players. I mean, I understand that English players are more expensive to sign, and they're more, and sometimes it's easier just to buy someone who's 27 from Uruguay and who's going to bang you in 30 goals a season. But everyone likes to see a young English talent in the Premier League. That's why, although a lot of people hate Spurs, you've got to credit them for the fact that they've got a strong English base in their team.
Yeah, I mean, English players who are playing good football under a foreign manager who's got really good tactics. That's what is good.
Yeah, but you also in the Premier League you've got Bournemouth. I mean, Eddie Howe has kept the same team pretty much from when he got promoted out of League One to when he's in the Premier League, and he developed all them English players himself. And he's also English, but you also get a lot of foreign managers that develop English talent. I mean, Bielsa and Farke have both developed loads of players and given loads of debuts and given plenty of time on the pitch, way more than the likes of Dean Smith. I mean, I've heard Borough fans moaning about the fact that Tony Pulis won't play their youth players and is sticking to their to their more experienced foreign players.
Yeah.
And you can't say it's good for English football that someone with the dinosaur tactics of Tony Pulis gets into the Premier League. And I know that's strong language, but he seriously, the longer he is away from the Premier League, him and Allardyce and Moyes and all these other, and Pardew and these roundabout managers that are just continually getting Mark Hughes team getting teams relegated year after year without actually trying anyone new. The fact that Southampton have gone for this Hassan, is it Hasenhüttl or I don't know?
Yeah.
Southampton's new manager. I don't want to mispronounce his surname. I've got a lot of respect for that, because even if it doesn't work, it's
they're still trying it.
It's something new. He plays similar tactics to Klopp. Southampton don't have that bad a team, and they've been suffering through poor management for a few years now, and selling on the players too much, largely to Liverpool as the joke goes. But it's nice. I prefer seeing foreign managers
who are playing good football
than English managers who are playing terrible football.
Yeah, I prefer good football. And it's like with Leeds United, Bielsa, Norwich and Farke. They're both teams are playing the best football they have played for years. It's fantastic football, and I'd much rather see good football in the Premier League than poor football with English managers. But it's like Leeds and Norwich, we've had British managers and English managers before, but that clearly hasn't worked. So what's wrong with trying something new, going with a foreign manager with a different philosophy? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. This is the first manager that Farke is the first manager that Norwich have had that's not been from Britain or Ireland.
Yeah,
the first one. So. And he's also coincidentally the first one to take them to the top of the Championship since Paul Lambert. So you and that was, 5 or 6 years ago now. You've got to say, although Farke had a very tough first season, although I don't think he's really got any excuse for that, because they had parachute payments and Leeds didn't. But there's no bitterness there. Yeah. Although I'm against parachute payments. I think if you fail, you should fail. Like Leeds did. We got no money. That's just me being bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see Farke and Bielsa take Norwich and Leeds up. Hopefully, Leeds will win the title and Norwich will come second, and everyone else. But I can see Aston Villa making a late charge. And as much as
I'll just take top two though.
I'll take top two. As much as I can actually see Dean Smith, as much as I hate the man for his. Although I did find it very amusing the fact he was moaning about Jay Rodriguez punching the ball in against. For West Brom against Aston Villa, but he was perfectly fine to accept the diving at Elland Road, which won them their point, and the time wasting that. Even though he moaned about time wasting, but that's far off the point. I think he'll make a late charge, but I'd love to see a progressive attacking manager of whatever nationality make it into the Premier League.
Yeah, and Norwich are first, Leeds are second, but it's not our fault that we're first and second. We're there because we're playing good football and better football and winning more games than anyone else in the league. If we're doing well, we deserve to be up there. And the fact that the English managers are up there, it means that they're not doing that well. And why, if you're not doing well, and why would you deserve to be in the Premier League? Just because you're English? It's ludicrous comments to me.
You've got no right to be in the Premier League as an English manager.
No one's got a right to be anywhere.
No, exactly.
You need to earn it.
And you're not earning it by not being in first and second place in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with the squads that West Brom and Aston Villa have got, they should be running away with this league. Aston Villa always had a very poor start under another British manager that hasn't done very well in recent years, Steve Bruce, and West Brom have got quite a defensive coach also in Darren Moore, who, although he's a good manager and he did really well at the end of the Premier League season, despite only having 4 games to try and save him, and he nearly pulled it off, which is amazing. That would have truly been the great escape, because they were terrible.
Yeah.
How Alan Pardew is continuing to get jobs in English football is beyond me. But park that. If Bielsa does and Leeds do deserve to be where they are. No one can say we don't deserve. Apart from Forest fans who are still moaning about that Roufan ball, but that was just funny. We deserve to be there.
Yeah, if we're playing better football than anyone else, we deserve to be up there. And if they're not, then they have no right to be in the Premier League. And he's saying, he wants more English managers at the Premier League, but you've already got 4. You've got Eddie Howe, Roy Hodgson, Sean Dyche, and Neil Warnock. You've already got them. I don't see why. I just don't see why it matters to have English managers in the Premier League. I just don't
and only one of them is actually playing good football, because Roy Hodgson and Sean Dyche. Obviously, Sean Dyche got the Europa League, got Burnley into the Europa League, which is a great achievement, to be fair, because Burnley are not in any sense a European club, because they never perform that well. They never signed players of high enough calibre. So that was good management. But recently, in the season before they got the Europa League and this season, they've been struggling because they've lost that defensive solidity they had. And Roy Hodgson has been performing better with Palace of this season, but he's still a defensive coach, and he doesn't play a great style of football, and they rely a lot on Zaha.
Yeah.
And then you got Warnock, who Leeds fans know all about. I mean, the long ball,
time wasting,
Sol Bamba, Lee Peltier, throwing players under the bus. Warnock is, oh god.
Yeah. And on to the style of play, it's like, you want the Premier League to compete with the other big leagues in Europe. The only way that we're going to do that is if we're playing as good a football as the other leagues in Europe. And, with these other managers who are doing well in the Championship, we're playing good football. So, I think it'll be better for Premier League. And on to the players as well, the English players. So, Leeds at the weekend in the QPR win, the 2-1 win, we had, quite a few British players anyway. Calvin Phillips, English. Shackleton, English. Pickett Fowle, Northern Irish. Douglas, Scottish, of course. Bamford, Clark, Forshaw, Lewis Baker, Roof. It's just we had so many British players playing, and we finished the game against QPR with 4 academy graduates as well on the pitch. So it's like,
I think it's more than any other club in the Championship. And bear in mind that Bielsa only signed British players to the club. He didn't sign any. Like most people thought he was going to bring in a load of either Spanish or Argentinian or Chilean talent, which he didn't do.
He didn't. We finally signed players who know the league as well. Yes, we
got Lewis Baker and Jack Harrison, who've got previous experience at Middlesbrough. He got Bamford from Middlesbrough as well. And we signed a lot of players from Middlesbrough, I just realised that. We got Douglas from Wolves, who obviously was a top assisting defender in the Championship last season. So we signed experienced players that know the league and know how to, especially in Douglas, know how to get up. They know what to do.
Yeah, and they're all British as well. And
yeah,
Norwich as well. They had a lot of British players: Max Aarons, Jamal Lewis, and Ben Godfrey. Just name a few of them. They're British players doing well in the Championship and playing well under, playing really good football under former managers. But I just think ludicrous comments from Ian Abrahams or Moose, or whatever you want to call him. I just think it's ludicrous comments from him, and it just reeks of him and TalkSport wanting to get the views in. Was it 50,000 views in an hour? It
was just trying to look for headlines, trying to get people to phone in. It was a bit desperate, to be fair. But I'll not say anything more strong than that. It came across a little bit desperate.
It's just stupid comments from Ian Abrahams there. But we'll now preview Leeds' game this weekend. Turn our attention to the game against Bolton Wanderers away from home on Saturday. A bit about Bolton though. So they haven't won in 11 games. Of course, lost their last game 3-2 at Norwich. They're 23rd in the league table, second from bottom on 18 points, 1 point from safety. Charles, just like the QPR game, you'd expect 3 points.
You would, but it's the Championship, isn't it? So, I mean, by all accounts, they put up a good fight away at Norwich. They went from coming back from 2-0 down to almost drop. They scored in the 88th minute. They almost drew it to all. You've got to kind of say that they're no pushovers, and they've got the kind of siege mentality at the moment in the fact that they're kind of them against the world because the players aren't getting paid. The manager might be going off to Reading. There's rumours that Phil Parkinson might be going to Reading, so you'd expect 3 points. They're in a bit of turmoil at the moment, but it's an away game to a club that's struggling for points. They're going to put up a fight. It needs to be a professional performance from the lads. We can't afford like a lackadaisical performance or a casual performance. We need to go down there, get an early goal, put them to the sword, get on to Villa. Yeah,
I mean, it's key that we need 3 points. You'd expect 3 points, but there's never an easy game in Championship. I mean, like I say, we do need to perform well, but it is a game that we must win, though, especially if you consider that we do have a trip to Aston Villa before Christmas.
Yeah, by all means, the weekend give them respect, but punish them. Really do try and get a couple of 2 or 3 goals, build up some confidence for the Villa game, and then if we get 3 points against Bolton, then you'd argue that the Villa game's a free hit. Anything we get from the game is a positive because Villa Park is a tough away day. I mean, I think in the Monk season we got with a 1-1 draw with the Janssen goal, and last season I think we lost 1-0. But but now they're a much more attacking team. They're scoring tons of goals. I think they've overtaken us for second place for most goals scored. Because they got that mad 5-5 draw against Nottingham Forest, which is a bit strange, and they won 4-2 against Birmingham. So they can score goals, but they're suspect at the back. I think we can punish them if we put pressure on that back line. I don't think we're going to get some joy.
But of course, we said it earlier. Helm for us goes back in centre back. Phillips back into midfield. Phil's over missing him there. Does Aye still start for you on Saturday?
I'd like to say yes, because I like his creativity, and the last time we played Bolton in the Cup, I thought he punished him. I saw a few tweets from Bolton fans last time we played him in the Cup, and he was superb in that game. He scored in that game. Obviously, he hasn't scored in the league in I think over a year now, but he scored in that game, and I think if he gets some of his confidence back, I think he can be a real player.
Yeah, but who'll go out for you though if Saiz is going to start? Because like I said, Hal back in centre back, Phillips back in midfield. So who'd drop? Who'd get dropped?
I mean, I don't like saying this because he had a good performance, but I think it has to be Adam Forshaw for me.
Yeah, I like Adam Forshaw. Mateusz Klich, he didn't seem too good.
No, he's not been brilliant recently, but he had a couple of one-touch passes which laid Shackleton on and laid Roof on, and it was kind of, and he forced probably arguably the best chance of the game that we didn't convert.
Yeah.
So, I would start Saiz, but
for me, I feel as though he'd make an impact off a bench. For me, I don't think he's a starter. Jack Clark though, does he start on Saturday finally? Because I mean, like I said, it's a hard trip away at Bolton, but would you start Jack Clark?
I would start Jack Clark, yeah. I would, because he's they've got a lot of free agents in their team, a lot of ageing players, a lot of experienced players. I think it was the ex-Leeds player that signed for them. Luke, I swear, he said that. He ex-Leeds. He released him last season. He signed for them.
Luke Murphy.
Luke Murphy signed for them. Yeah.
Bolton.
Yeah, he plays for Bolton.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that, would you?
No.
That went under the radar entirely. But yeah, Luke Murphy does play for Bolton.
Wow. But yeah, we're not previous 5 meetings against Bolton. Do you see that changing?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think we've got to win this game, and I think we will win this game.
Yeah.
And I think it was... do you want to make a prediction?
Yeah, give us a prediction.
I think it'll be 2-0 Leeds.
2-0 Leeds. I'll go with 3-1 Leeds. I'm confident. I think we'll score a few.
You think we'll concede, though?
Bolton seem to be... they're not the best of teams. I think we'll concede, though. Yeah, Bolton, they always seem to score goals. So.
Yeah, they've got the arguably the best player out in Sammy Amiobi, and... I can't see him punishing us, really. I think they'll sit back, even though they're at home, I think they'll sit back. I think they'll try and do what QPR almost managed to do, which is nick a point off us.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. I think they'll play probably more than likely a 4-4-2 and just try and squeeze us out of the game, which might work for initially, but hopefully we'll find a way through it.
Yeah, well, that's our predictions. Like I said, we need to win this game considering the away trip to Aston Villa, but we think we will win this game. We feel we'll make it 6 wins out of our last 6 meetings against Bolton. Now I'm very confident of that. But that, of course, brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you very much to everyone who has listened, and thank you for downloading and listening. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to Charles as well, of course, for joining me as ever.
Thanks very much for having me, Ed.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Spotify if you haven't already. Give us a 5-star rating as well on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe to the All Things Leeds YouTube channel as well. Follow us across all our social media platforms. I really do appreciate it. And share the podcast as well, because it helps us out very much. We don't know if there'll be... there is a podcast next week. I've sorted it out. We're going to be down at the Popper Sports Studios next week.
Exciting.
Well, hopefully we are. He hasn't given me the proper thumbs up, but hopefully there will be a podcast next week. But if there isn't, though, then let me say Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Charles.
Merry Christmas to you, Ed, and everyone listening.
Yep, and but yeah, like I said, if you enjoy the podcast, make sure to subscribe, like, share, do whatever, help us out, and we will see you next time.